Welcome to Off Script. I am Will May.
And I am Ashley, your co-host. And today we are going to talk about our core values and the models that we have because we've officially launched Toast Real Estate, if you were listening last week.
Yep, and we have had quite the week.
Yes, we have.
With the transition. It's been quite a bit of fun, but we are fully up and functioning. Our office space isn't open until the end of this month. And today we wanted to talk about the models that we're going to be basically opening up with the brokerage. And I'm super excited because we're going to open up a third model to bring in, more like-minded agents into the brokerage, which allows us to kind of grow our world a little bit. And we're going to kind of go through those today so we can explain what we're going to be offering.
Yep. And then at the end of it, we will have kind of a little call to action that you can click on if you're on YouTube or wherever you're at, where you can go and download a copy of the models, or you can just reach out to Will and I directly. But we'll have a resource that you can review after this.
We're totally open to meeting with anybody that is interested in learning what our models are. We won't be bringing people into or adding agents to the brokerage until June 1st, probably. So we're excited for that to get here, but we have some office renovations to get done first. We're all kind of officing out of our houses currently this month. So, okay, cool. So we wanted to start with our core values of what we're going to do, right?
Yeah, I think we just want to talk a little bit about, if you're not familiar with Toast and our brand, or if this is your first time tuning in, just kind of what drives us and how we operate and the values that are really, really important to us and our quote unquote old team. We're not using the word team anymore now that we're a brokerage, but everything that's kind of helped us get to where we are, what we stand for.
Yeah. We went through a lot of these. We ended up with 7 core values that we thought made sense, and then we kind of tailored them to what our old, like you said, our old team is. I just think this is such an awesome moment to be able to bring in more people, and there's a sense of like even more professionalism behind like we're building the brokerage with different models. So when we bring agents in, we want them to align with these core values. The very first one, which I think embodies why we started and building the team the way we did, was high standards. I think that for us, we have a standard on the team of minimum units and certain things that you have to do, especially on the different models of showing up and going to scripts and intentions and gratitude. And I think this was like the entire foundation of why we built the team the way we did. Yeah,
I think for me, standards are just so important because it's everything that you do and how you do it matters. And this is probably a little bit of the perfectionism in me, but just continuing to try and elevate yourself as an individual and elevate the people around you. I think having standards for each model and what those are and being very transparent about them, regardless of which model you're on, is very, very important, because we know that we're maybe not for everybody, or certain models aren't for everybody, and that's okay. So for us, it's just being very transparent about what those are, and we'll get through those later on in the episode as we talk through our independent shared services model and what that looks like.
Yep. High standards, how you do one thing is how you do everything, right? And so bringing that level of standard to everything that we do, especially in our career and our work life, is super, super important for everybody on the team. Number 2, growth-minded.
Pretty self-explanatory, always improving personally, professionally, continuing to fuel yourself with things that are going to keep you in that learner mindset, if you will. And never being the smartest person in the room. Like, you always want to be learning from somebody. It doesn't matter how productive you are, how many houses you're selling. I think every single person can always continue to grow and improve themselves. And so having a mindset like that is very important to us. And we want to attract people into our world that think like that and don't think that they're, at the top of where they can go and that they can't learn anymore.
Yeah, so good. It's really a lifestyle, right? Being growth-minded is a lifestyle, continuing to always want to grow. I think what you said was perfect, personally as well as professionally. We know the people on our team and our organization really, really well. So for us, it's important to know what they're looking to do inside of their career, outside of their career as well. And oftentimes, those two areas of their life will mirror each other. And so helping them grow in different ways and us growing professionally and personally is super important. So I think it's a lifestyle more than it is just a standard, right? Like being growth-minded. Number 3, having fun. I think that's just important from our team aspect of like standards and accountability come first, but always having fun, laughing, and enjoying our time is super, super important.
Yeah, I mean, it's good to be professional and productive and all of those things, but at the end of the day, life is about like just enjoying it, right? And still enjoying the process and the journey of everything. And you have to have humor and fun and things, because when things get really stressful, because they do in this industry, like you have to be with people that have just an attitude of like lightheartedness. And I mean, it's very simple to just say have fun as one of our core values, but I really, really believe in that. And I think the people that are in our world today on the models that we currently have really embody that.
Yeah. It's funny because I think like in a professional setting, humor, a lot of people like, we want our marketing to look like this. We want it to be perfect all the time, but we all know it's not, right? Like there's hard work to be done, and reaching your goals is really challenging, but there's no reason you can't enjoy the ride. You can't have fun throughout the process of the whole year.
Make fun of yourself a little bit.
Yes. I think I'm going to be doing a Drake video soon. Music video is what Nicole said. So no ego. Nobody's bigger than the team.
I mean, I think that also speaks for itself. We have a lot of high performing individuals within, I keep wanting to say team. It's like such a mindset shift for me now. Within our models, we have very, very high performing individuals. But something that I'm very appreciative is that they're still willing to help anybody around them and be very collaborative. And they never become bigger than the team, if you will, or the brokerage now.
Yeah.
And I think that's really, really important to bring people in that don't think that they're better than anybody. Like, just because you're great, that's wonderful, but help others. Like, we live this life to serve other people and help other people, which ultimately makes us all better.
Yeah. You'll stick out like a sore thumb if you have ego on this team. Plain and simple.
Brokerage.
Like, brokerage. Keep messing this up.
It's going to take us a couple weeks.
We have accountability coming up, but like everybody on the team knows how we operate. We started it with no ego, and now the team kind of holds that for us, right? This is going to be tough to remember. High performers on our team, we just talked about on our models, lead into the next one, compete with purpose. There's always healthy competition inside of our team. Inside of our brokerage. I'm going to keep messing this up now that you said that. There's always healthy competition. So we do different like activities or challenges and different stuff like this, but it's so fun to watch our agents compete with one another while still, rooting each other on the whole time. Yeah,
we kind of had to take a little bit of a pause on our lead gen hour just with everything with the brokerage opening, but I think that's something that's really fun that we've done we have fun little competitions with how many appointments they can set during lead gen blocks and things like that. And some people like doing that and some people don't. Some people love accountability, some people don't. But I think if you're in this world, you're in our world and you're here in our environment, those people are very driven by having some sense of accountability, competition, but fun competition. I mean, it all blends together as I'm saying these words out loud. Several of those words I just said are our core values.
Yep, all the way. I think we always want to keep that kind of mentality and environment, around us, because when somebody goes out and exceeds and pushes, the ceiling to a new height, everybody else rises to that. And so that's like the fun inside of having some competition. When somebody goes out on our shared services model and they put up, 30, 35 units, everybody else in that environment is like, oh, I can do that now too if they did that. I think that's the importance of competition.
100%. And sorry, actually I do want to add something. Whether you're in the real estate industry, corporate world, I think it's transferable, the statement that your lowest hanging fruit or your lowest performer, everybody will fall to that level at some point. So in my opinion, I think it's really important to have really, really high performing people, because everyone kind of stoops to the level of anybody that's beneath them, if you will. So if you have a bad egg or somebody with a bad attitude or somebody that's just like not willing to put in the work and be part of that, like the high performers slowly over time begin to kind of stoop to that level. So,
It's super important. Integrity.
Do what's right, not what's easy.
You literally read it off. A good way to go about this is funny because we kind of we parent in this way, right, as well. But it's how we should be living our life. Do the right thing when nobody's watching, right? And do the right thing for your clients. Make sure you're honest. Integrity is such, it's like a cliche word, right? But it's so important when it comes to how you conduct yourself in the professional world.
Yeah, I mean, I really believe in the laws of the universe. So karma, I feel like, kind of falls into integrity in a way that if you're leading with ill intent, bad intentions, doing things in a shady manner, like you may get a win there at that exact moment in time, but I really believe that in the long run, that will come back full circle to you.
Yep.
So just lead with purpose, lead with integrity, always do the right thing, and all of the good things are going to continue to come back into your world if you lead your life like that.
Yeah, think about how somebody else is feeling in the situation first and do the right thing for them, right? Mm-hmm. Serve the people you're supposed to be serving. Mm-hmm. For us in leadership, it's serving our agents. For agents, it's serving your clients. Mm-hmm. And then no ego. Nobody's bigger than the team. Do the right thing for the team and the reputation, the brand as well. Last one, my favorite one of all, accountability. This shows up in every single one of those core values, every single area. Accountability has been really fun to build on this team, and to see the agents hold each other accountable now and not having it have to be top-down accountability has been like an immense factor of why we hit our goals this past year and why we have so much momentum.
Yeah, and I think, coaching ties really perfectly into accountability. I think when you're in real estate, because you are essentially an entrepreneur, whether you're a solo agent at a brokerage, on a team, if you will, whatever model you're on, it is really, really hard to be self-accountable all the time. No matter how high of a performer you are, whether you're the number one agent in Nebraska, like coaching, having people around you, and having that sense of accountability to help continue move you forward so you don't plateau, I think is so important no matter what industry you're in.
Yeah. Accountability is really looking at the results of things, and we track everything in coaching every single week with core and shared services, hopefully independent as we get going here. But with having that accountability, it's very easy to goal set and to figure out what needs to be done for this specific agent to hit their goals.
Yep.
So I think that's one thing that we've done for over a year and a half now. We have a bunch of data on that when it comes to agent behaviors. But accountability has been fun to kind of set into this culture. And as we build the independent model, which we're opening up in June, it's going to be really important. We're going to start with 5 to 6 agents, so starting small, that are going to set the standard of accountability and all of our core values in that group of people, so that we can attract the right agents to that model. Okay.
Well said.
High standards, growth-minded, have fun, no ego, compete with purpose, integrity, and accountability. That's the 7.
That's right.
All right. Do we want to go into our models now?
Yeah, I think let's talk a little bit about that. We have a one-sheeter that I mentioned earlier that you'll be able to download if you're interested in just seeing what is offered in each of those. We'll try and touch on as much as we can, but it's a lot of information to retain. So we will have that available if you want to download it or chat more about that too.
Yep. We'll start just briefly with core team model. Core team truly is the foundation of how we build everything on the team. So core team is hire only. It's not on the brokerage. Core team is a hire only position, right? So when core team grows to where we need to expand it, that's when we'll hire showing assistants, buyers agents, listing agents. So those are going to be not something that we're recruiting to actively unless we need a role to be filled.
Yeah, I think the best way to look at this model is it's just truly the specialized model that you're either doing one aspect of the business. So for us currently, there's 3. It's the buyer agent model, the listing agent model, now the new construction model with our partnership with THI, and then soon to be our investor model. So who's ever in that lane or working within that model, they exclusively work with just sellers, just buyers, our new construction, or investors. And they become highly, highly specialized in that one aspect and can dive really, really deep into specific systems and processes to better serve those clients in that specific model.
Yep. We pilot everything in the core team model, and if it works, we roll it out to shared services to be able to capitalize on the stuff that we're figuring out and trial and erroring in there.
Yeah, so we won't really touch on that anymore, and we don't necessarily have that as a downloadable PDF because, like Will said, that's something that is hired within once you're already within our brokerage on a different model, and we promote into those positions from within the company.
Yep. Okay, shared services model is more of like our agent model for, that will be commission splits, but they have a high level of service given to them. How should we go through this?
Probably just going through kind of our standards. If you're on the shared services model, that is our old team, if you will. Now we're calling it model. So now that we're a brokerage, it's a specific model that you'd be on with specific splits and specific standards and specific systems and support provided to you on this model. So you're going to have a little bit steeper splits on this one, but you're going to have much more systems and support to grow your business and a model to follow after to hopefully grow that faster. So from a standard aspect, the standards on that is 18 units or transactions per year.
Yep.
Or 4.5 million in volume. So hitting that within the 1 year mark to stay on that model and continue to be provided the services to support you on that model.
Yep. We're pretty firm on that, on that 18 unit minimum. We start offboarding around 9 months if it's not something that we think is going to happen. We hold to this standard. It's really important to us. It's not fun, but we set expectations ahead of time of like, hey, with everything that we're providing, if we're not doing 18 units, this probably isn't the right model for you.
Yes. So what I would say about this is the reason we have a standard for that, because if you're listening, you're like, wow, I mean, why would you kick somebody off of that model? It's because there is a lot more attention and services and time given to those people and given to those agents from Will and I's time, and then all of our operations people to support that. So it's also costly to us to support that model, which we are fine with, but we want to know that the people on this model are putting in as much effort to hit those standards as we are to help them hit those standards. And so if we're not seeing the effort and the accountability and all of these things we've talked about on the agent's end, then it's probably better to shift over to an entrepreneur and independent model where it's not requiring us to invest as much time and energy into that person if they're not in a place to want to be in that role, which is completely fine. But there is levels of accountability that come into that with required attendance of scripts and role play, certain coachings, things like that. So you have to really want to be in that headspace, I guess, to be a productive, high producing agent. And also want to have the commitment to do those things that are expected on that model.
Yep, and that comes with certain, like you said, certain things that need to be done on a weekly and daily basis. Yeah,
so I'll kind of go through some of these. I have the sheet in front of me, and I'm not going to read everything off, but I can go through some of that.
Before you leave the standard, another thing that's really important there is if we're not doing the 18 units, we fall to the lowest level, right? So the moment somebody doesn't hold that standard, other agents then cannot hold that standard, and then we're going downhill instead of uphill, right? So we felt like it was really important to hold this standard in this group for the agents to live up to that, and also you should net $100,000 based off of the numbers we ran at 18 units.
Yes, forgot about saying that. So just getting straight to it with the splits and what's included in those kind of overall. So we have on the buy side, that model is on a 70-30 split. And on the list side, they're on a 60-40 split. Before going into each side of the transaction, kind of at a high level, what's included in that is pretty much all of your branding and marketing things that you're going to need from an onboarding aspect. Signs, riders, open house, A-frames, all of those type of things, business cards, everything you needed to get started, listing packets, buyer packets, marketing materials. You're going to have weekly coaching, goal tracking, accountability, certain expectations with that. We provide all of the agents closing gifts for their buy sides, and then touch point client gifts for their listing sides. You'll also have access to all of the events, pop buys, and giveaways that we do for that model that is funded, paid for, and supported by our operations team. So just a service that you'll be able to offer to your clients. You'll be able to provide gifts for your pop buys and invite them to the events that are paid for under this model. So it's really part of our touch point system to help you continue to grow your business, but we provide basically every aspect of that touch point system for you so that it's done for you and you just can plug into that. It's probably the best way to describe it. So down to the level of like your email marketing is completely created for you and drafted every single week by Nicole, our marketing and brand manager, and all you have to go in is edit the template and maybe change it a little bit more to your brand voice, but she puts in new content every week for you and you just have to hit send. So a lot of the stuff is done for you administratively.
Yeah, everything when it comes to the goal of the shared services is to turn your database at 10% and then give you the skill sets, the coaching, accountability, and the environment to do so. And if we have 300 people in your database and we have a 71 point touch plan for the year and we have coaching accountability, we should be able to move you towards that 10%, which would be 30 deals, right? So that's everything that we're doing in shared services is taking as much off your plate as possible to communicate with your database and then be able to be in sales.
Yep. And so I think what's unique about the listing side of things, so the split 60-40 on that, but pretty much all of your services are paid for and covered for you as a marketing aspect and a value add to your clients that you can present at listing appointments. So we pay and provide the pre-inspection for your sellers, the pre-cleaning on the listings, staging. We have that in-house, and that's provided as part of our standard services with that. Photography, 2D floor plans, email marketing, social media. I mean, I'm not going to read all of it. There's a lot more that goes into that. Our ISA support team, circle dialing your listings. So just a lot of things to, one, help get your listings sold quicker, shine more eyes on it, but also the administrative support that comes on the back end of all the things you don't want to do so you can do some more deals. So we'll have that available as a handout, but there's a lot more on here that, I mean, I'm just not going to sit here and list everything off. It'll take a while to go through it all.
And I feel like you have a very, very specific and high standard of how Toast lists homes. And that's what happens when you have listing management is we're going to present the home the way that it should be presented to the market.
Yes. And then the independent model. So that's our shared services model. More of the concierge service, if you will, to you as the agent.
Yeah.
Having your brand manager, having a listing manager, pretty much everything done for you so that you look really, really good to your clients.
Yeah, and just from just a few more things on shared services before we leave that. Coaching weekly, but also access to both of us pretty much daily when it comes to different situations and being able to work through pipeline, conversations with sellers, buyers, and people that you're working with. We also have Lofty as our CRM, and that's for everybody throughout. And then lastly, our pricing spreadsheet. So learning how to price homes out accurately in the market that we're in today on an appraisal basis has been a game changer for our listings, and being able to have that in that shared services model has been huge for them when it comes to having confidence at the listing table.
Yeah. Oh, I actually forgot one of the most important things, leads. So do you want to talk a little bit about how Anthony has developed that ISA department, and really our core team and our shared services model are the only ones currently that have access to lead handoff?
Yep. So we've built our lead generation department over the past, we have a couple episodes about this, but over the past year, and we essentially have 2 people calling and following up on leads, circle dialing all of our listings, and running basically Facebook ads that come into the team. We have 2 people. Anthony is our lead manager that are basically overseeing all of the leads that we're funding, and those all go to shared services and the core team, depending on agent, client. Oh my gosh, I'm not going to get this right. Core team and shared services model inside of the brokerage. So that is definitely a benefit of that because we're starting to get a lot more qualified leads. The goal there is to set appointments for all of our shared services agents moving forward to help them get to that 18 unit standard.
Yep. I think
all over the place there.
No, that's okay. I think the differentiator between that, if you've ever been on a lead-based model somewhere, is that they're not giving you leads. Anthony is setting appointments, which are much higher to convert. So our goal is to not hand off leads to people, it's to hand off appointments.
That's right. And we're getting there. We're much closer than we were 6 months ago for sure. And we're at a place now where we probably have 1 to 2 appointments being set for our agents on a weekly basis. And that's only going to get better and better as we figure out our processes.
Yep. Okay, so independent model. So the third model.
Yeah, I'm super pumped about this model too, being able to open this up.
And I'll have you speak a little bit more to this model since you're going to be a little bit more heavily involved on the coaching side of things.
Yeah, so this is going to be our model for independent agents. You see these commission models throughout the Omaha market for sure, but it's our 100% model. And what is going to be involved in this is just a lighter version of shared services. We still want to have the same culture standards and those types of things, but it's going to be less of a team feel and more of a guy, like it's going to be a model that we're going to help you build exactly what we've built with our brokerage. We started with you all the way to starting an entire brokerage. We're going to follow the same plan, same model in coaching and set the same standards inside of your independent business.
Yeah, I think I see this kind of going one of two ways for people in the independent model. They'll either really, really thrive on it because they'll do the things, right? We'll tell you exactly how to do the things and they'll do them and they'll figure out how to leverage that themselves or pay for their own support or admin assistance or things to grow that model on their 100%. Or they won't want to do the things and they may transition over to shared service and say, I want it done for me and I'm okay with being on a steeper split. I think those are the one of two things that happen. Either is completely fine. There's no right or wrong, but some people don't want to have to build and take that risk of paying for support staff for themselves to build those models.
Why recreate the wheel, right? When there already is a path set of going from 38 to 225 units in 3 years. Follow the same plan, and that's what we're going to do there. I've been able to coach you and all of our agents from the start all the way to now of us hitting our goals. Follow the same exact plan. We're just going to be able to help you build that out on your own. So from a monthly standpoint, our 100% model is $700 a month, and then coaching weekly on top of that is $500 a month. So a total of $1,200 a month for our 100% independent model. And then a
$495 BAC per transaction.
That's right. And what you get with that is access to script and role play that we do at the brokerage every Monday, Wednesday, Friday from 9:30 to 10. Monthly brokerage meetings.
Weekly coaching,
a broker training every single month as well. And then all of our, you can go through our
tech. And then you'll have a website through our CRM Lofty for all of your marketing, listings, dot loop, showing time, and then everything from an onboarding from your branded business cards. We'll give you templates for signage, business cards, all of that. So you can either purchase them through us or on your own, but we'll have those all templated and ready to go for you.
Also, what comes with that is discounted pricing with our preferred vendors. So we're working that literally in the works on this with most of our vendors right now, but getting discounted pricing on your services that you're going to have with listings and marketing and different things like transaction management.
Who are we looking for this model? So, you know, if you're reaching out, like, are we looking for everybody? Are we looking for part-time? Like, who are we looking for? Let's speak a little about that.
To me, I feel like what we're looking for are high performers and future team leaders.
Yeah.
Right. We have a pretty distinct path of what we followed and what we built here at Toast. And if you want to follow that plan and hopefully shorten it even from what we were able to do, those are the types of agents that we're looking to surround ourselves with.
Yeah, I think we've said this on this podcast over and over again. We're not for everybody. We're not looking for everybody. I mean, there's a lot of brokerages out there that take anybody and everybody and look at you as a body to come on because it makes them money. And we just don't look at it that way. We want to actually invest time and resources into our people. So we want to kind of vet that to know that you're going to be just as bought in and wanting to grow yourself and your business and not just looking for somewhere to hang your license. And if that's the case, there's nothing wrong with that. We're probably just not the right brokerage for that person.
Yep, 100%. 100% model. No, I think when we established the culture of this new model, that was really important for us to stay small. So we're only going to bring 5 agents that align with our core values and the vision of what we want this model to be able to set the standard there. So the first 5 will all be in coaching, and we'll be able to create their own little sense of like team feel, right? Like this is how we operate. This is what we do. This is the path we're going down. And if we set the vision and the standards inside of that model with those first 5 agents, it becomes easier to bring other people into that world and allow accountability to reign through that.
Couldn't have said better.
Cool. Okay, so those are our 2 models. I'm very, very excited for this independent model to open up and to bring some new energy into, you know, our new office space and to be able to set some really cool standards and culture there.
Me too. And we will have this available for download. So it will be linked in, I don't know, we're everywhere now. I think it's on YouTube, Spotify, all of that. We'll have it linked in on YouTube. But if you go to our Toast Real Estate Instagram page and you click on our Stand Store link in there, it will be available for you to download those models, what's included. And then, like I said, you can just reach out directly to Will and I if you have any questions on it as well. And we'd be happy to meet with you, or just do a quick phone call if you just want to learn more.
Yeah. Yep. I'll kind of go over what we do in coaching and the path that we go down, all the things that we track. Again, we are not for everybody, so you may not like those things, but would love to meet with you before June. And if you feel like you align with either of these models, let's have a conversation and see if we can't help you build your business.
That's right.
Okay. See you guys next week.
All right.